Hi everyone, it's Diane Dobry and with Getting Hungry's podcast. And today our guest is Gabor Bonfalvi of Taste Hungary. It's a wine company with also tours in Hungary. And Gabor and his wife Carolyn are the owners and the founders of the company. And um, now he's selling wine in the US and started out in Hungary and also does tours in Hungary. So welcome, Gabor. Thanks for coming on with us. He's in the afternoon, I'm in the morning, so we found a good time.
Yeah, hi Diane, hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me on your show. So I am one of the co-founders and co-owners of Taste Hungary and the Tasting Table. I'm in Budapest right now. This old brick wall is part of our tasting cellar called the Tasting Table here in downtown Budapest. And Me and my wife Carolyn started Taste Hungary, and it's still owned by us and managed by us after 12 years. Yes, we do a bunch of different tours in Hungary, all food and wine related. We have our own little tasting room and wine shop on Brody Sándor utca near right behind the National Museum in Budapest. And we also do a little bit of wine importing to the US.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. During this pandemic and lockdown, I was um, sitting at home and I wasn't going out shopping or anything, and looking for some wines. And in my Facebook feed, a lot of companies were saying, "Oh, we'll send you the best wines." And I kept saying, "Oh, I wish I could get Hungarian wine." And I
Mhm.
actually contacted some wineries in Hungary and said, "Can you ship to the US?" And somehow all of a sudden in my feed came up um, this view of Taste Hungary and will ship in the US. And I was shocked. I didn't even know you were doing that. I knew you had talked about bringing wines from Hungary to the US, but I got online, I looked at the site and got myself 3 wines. And I was really impressed because you have different choices. You don't have to join a club. If you don't want to, you can. If you don't know a lot about Hungarian wines, if you do, you can choose. So talk about that. How did you start your business? And
So we started our tour company in 2008, and
and that's in
that,
Hungary, right?
that is in Hungary. Yeah, we are based in Hungary. We do tours in Hungary, Austria, and Croatia mostly,
Oh,
but definitely our main uh, country of focus is Hungary and Hungarian wine. And thank God, until COVID hit, this was a very busy company. We had thousands and thousands of Americans, amongst other nations, attending our wine tastings here in Budapest, and our food and wine tours here in Budapest.
I'm going to
And
share some pictures of that. Let's see.
yeah, so one of the recurring questions was, how do you get hold of these wines? When you get home, and can we ship the wine to the U.S.? After a great winery visit, people were only able to get a couple of bottles in their suitcase, and we wanted to solve this issue. So the past few years, we spent a bunch of time in Washington, D.C., where Carolyn is from. So
Mhm.
Carolyn is from Washington, D.C., and we spent a few years there recently. And also we share our time between the two countries and the two cities. So we wanted to take advantage of it, and we started an import company based in DC. We have a small warehouse there, and we focus on small batch Hungarian wine imports. You sampled a few of them. Uh, we're doing micro imports, so we bring in new wines every quarter, and from each label we bring in 300-400 bottles at a time. And until it's gone, until it's sold, we're not going to bring in another batch. And we are in the lucky position of being able to actually sell everything online, either as a club or as an online web shop at tastehungary.us.
Mm-hmm.
And these are wines. We are the first Hungarian American wine club, for one thing. We are also the first and only web shop or shop in general in the US that only focuses on Hungarian wine and nothing else. And I love doing this. It's a lot of work. It's sometimes I would say, yeah, it's a little, risky and stuff.
Yeah.
We had to buy a lot of wine up front, but the feedback we get from people like you, being able to find Hungarian wine and not just cheap bull's blood or sweet Tokai, but wines that are from small producers, really good quality, also good value. Yeah, you don't find that anywhere else in the US right now. Yeah,
It's true. This
that's
is your
Carolyn and myself.
this is your wife, Carolyn, and you, and this is the website for Taste Hungary. But you also have the now is the U.S. Buy Wine US is on
That's
here.
right. Yeah, you just click on that, and then that'll take you to tastehungary.us. And
It's very slow. It's slowly moving. I don't know what's maybe because of the Zoom thing. Oh, here it is.
that could be, yeah. Yeah,
So
here we go.
the wine shop, and you have the wine club, free food guide to Hungary. So that's really good. What I liked about it was that I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to join a club or whatever, and then I was reading it. I'm like, wow, I don't have to join a club.
Nope.
I don't have to, and oh, I love St. Andrea, but if you know Hungarian wines, or you have an idea of, if once you can like click on it, I think there's a description of the wine,
Yeah.
and you can read about each wine and then say, okay, well, I want to get 3 bottles, or I want to get 6 bottles, and I'm going to choose my own wine. You can do that, right?
Absolutely. If you join the wine club, you automatically get 6 bottles every quarter. You don't have to pay. There is no fee for joining. There is no commitment. You can join and leave the same day,
Mm-hmm.
but you do get a slightly better price for that shipment, $125 for 6 bottles. So that is a little better than if you
Great
had it
price.
selected on your own.
Right.
And we do send out the new arrivals first to the wine club members, and then we place them on the website. So you also get a little priority. And we also, yeah, when tours are running, this year not so much, then we do offer a discount on our tours and tastings to wine club members. And we are also launched a wine club tour for 2021 fall. So about pretty much exactly a year from now, yeah, we are hopefully be running a tour
For the
for
wine club
wine club
members.
members. Yes, yeah.
And what will that be like?
It's going to be, well, it is on the website, on the tastehungary.us website.
Mm-hmm.
It is hopefully going to be an epic summary of a very intense, epic summary of the wines that we have imported to the US. So it's going to be 8 days long. And starting in Budapest, we'll have a dinner here at the tasting table, a welcome dinner, wine tasting, introduction, and so on. And then we will divide the trip between Villány, so the south of Hungary. We'll spend 3 days there, more or less.
I love Villány.
Which, focusing on Cabernets and heavier reds. Then we'll go up north to the Somló and Balaton region,
Okay.
which is mostly white, but a little bit of red wine is also grown there.
Mm-hmm.
The style is totally different from that of the south. It's a cooler region, more volcanic region, incredibly spectacular, and we have really good friends.
Right.
Sorry?
And you have the lake right there too. That you
exactly. Can... Yeah. Well, in October we're not going to be swimming unless we're really wasted, but hopefully not.
So you were talking about your friend there. Is that in Chopak?
we, which friend?
You said we have a friend
Oh,
there.
well, we have a bunch of friends there in actually both places. So wherever we can, we will arrange, meeting the winemaker, having a home cooked dinner or, a restaurant dinner at the winery and special tastings. Uh, the primary focus will be, of course, wineries that we already imported to the US, but there will be other ones as well there will be plenty of time. So after the Balaton and Somló region, we'll come back to Budapest a little bit, and then we'll have a beautiful sweet ending in Tokaj and
Oh boy.
focusing on furmints, házlevelűs, and the amazing sweet wines, historic sweet wines of the region.
Will there be a Sensia tasting?
Of course, there will be. Of course,
Oh,
once you pay, this trip to Hungary, this pilgrimage, you have to have a Sensia.
of course.
No question.
So, and the details are on the website for that
Yes.
tour?
Yeah, that's going to be next October. I do not have the dates memorized, but it's going to be, I think, October 8th and to the 16th or so. So just finishing up about now.
Okay, and will that include airfare or just once you get there?
The price is not inclusive of airfare, but it's pretty much inclusive of everything else. So accommodation and pretty much all the meals. I think there is one exception where in the middle of the trip we take a break in Budapest and give people a night off. And at that time, they usually do not want any food or wine. They need a break.
Yeah.
So maybe one meal is not included, but all breakfast, all wine tastings, and everything else is included. Yeah.
It's great. It's an incentive to join the wine club. But so yeah, so how did this come about with the US? I mean, I know personally how hard it is to import wines to the US, and then Hungarian wines are not well known here, which is part of my mission is to introduce people to it. And you're doing virtual tastings and stuff. So how are you building up the business in the US, and how are you finding that?
Well, it took probably 2 years to figure out all the bureaucratic regulations, both on the, let's say, the paper level, the official level, and also on the technical level, how I can even send wine from one state to the other, how I can invoice people, and so on and so on.
It's complicated.
So it's very complicated. There's the three-tier system in the US, so importer, wholesaler, and retailer. And there are some exceptions, and thank God DC is an exception, so we can function as multiple player in one, which is a huge benefit to us and also to our customers, because if these wines were to get into a wine store, either virtual, either online or real, they would be more expensive, and they would get lost on the shelf anyway.
Yes.
About 2 million other wines from all over the world. So figuring out the bureaucracy took years. I think we have that figured out. Now, we get really good feedback about our wines, and we have more than 100 wine club members now.
Great.
And it's really amazing. And we have a handful of no, more than a handful. We have a bunch of regular customers who are either members or not, but they order regularly from all over the US. We offer free shipping for if you order 12 bottles of any of the wines, you get it shipped free of charge anywhere in the US, where we ship, of course, which is more than 30 states. So that we figured out, and answering that part of the question about introducing wines to Americans, we do have the advantage of having a sort of a base, people who follow Hungary already, like yourself, from our tourism background. We have been we have clients who are very loyal and keep coming back, keep reaching out to us, how we're doing and what we're doing. And so thank God we don't have to start from zero. We started from this really, I would say, almost comfortable position of already having a demand. I mean, we thought there would be a demand. We tried it, and yes, there is a demand. So yeah, we're not doing big. I mean, we're not doing this whole thing on a large scale, uh, and we're not planning to be total wine or anything. We do want to focus on maintaining this club, maintaining our club members happy, and sell
And
the rest of the wine,
do
as we
live
go.
tastings, or you do live shows like
Oh yeah, yeah, we do.
interviews and
Yeah,
then
we do a bunch of Facebook tastings. I do some of them, and our team in Budapest does the rest of them. We started this in the spring because of the shutdown, and it turned into something that it turned into a keeper, and now we have a little section on our websites for virtual experiences. I just did one last weekend for the American Wine Society, one of their chapters, and yeah, they ordered 24 bottles of wine, and if you order at least 18 bottles with a minimum of 3 bottles for each location. Anyway, I don't want to go into the details, but if you order a minimum of 18 bottles from us, then one of us will do the tasting for you free of charge. And I think it's a good way to see who is drinking this wine. That's always valuable for somebody like us. And I think it's also valuable for our clients to hear about these wines from the people who are very close to the source. And and yeah, it's free of charge. It's educational. It's fun. So yeah, I think it's a great service. We do this in Europe as well. We have a European wine
a
shop as
virtual.
well, tastehungary.eu. And so once we actually had a bicontinental tasting with people in Spain and London, and then a bunch of locations in the US. So
I think
it's
I'm
pretty.
disappearing here. So I'm gonna have to change my background a little bit, which I didn't want to
I
do.
know, I know. There you go.
Okay, so you can.
I've worked with virtual backgrounds before, and yeah, it's a little tricky.
So yeah, actually, that really solves the problem, because when I was bringing Hungarian wines into the U.S., people said, "Oh, well, can you do a party? Kind of like, we'll get a group and you bring wines and we'll buy the wines and drink that." And the laws in the U.S. make it really hard, but by doing a virtual
Mhm.
wine tasting, people can buy the wine themselves, and then they can invite people or virtually meet with people who also buy the wines, and then have you or an expert talking about the
Yeah, there is no law for virtual tastings, thank God. Maybe there will be. I'm sure one day the bureaucrats will catch up,
when they
but right
figure it out.
now, technology and entrepreneurs are ahead of them.
But it's also a good way. So you're saying that you're getting people who are not just Hungarians who are interested in
Oh,
trying.
absolutely. Yes. Yeah. We do have a strong base with Hungarian communities, but our strongest base really is our clients who visited us on tours. And, I would say about 50% of them are probably Hungarian Americans. And then the rest, maybe even, more than, maybe even less, just less than 50%. And then the rest are just American open-minded Americans who are happy to taste new wines, new flavors, new varietals, and yeah, like at this tasting I did for the American Wine Society, there was not a single person out of the 20 who had Hungarian background. They found us because one of them was on our tour. So
Oh, they had been on your tour. Okay.
yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of people don't even know, if it's not French or Spanish or Italian or Californian or even Australian nowadays, it's like, oh, what does it taste like, And they don't realize that Hungarian wines and French wines were the standard for
Oh
Europe
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
for
it's
100
one
years.
of the old classic winemaking countries that used to be really like a point of reference for other countries as well. Uh, and I think, especially Tokaj, the sweet wines of Tokaj, that that was always the point of reference for sweet wine production anywhere in the world.
Right.
And then came the 20th century, and communism and the world wars and borders
Right.
changing, and then yeah, the whole thing pretty much got cut off from the West. But it's changing. It's changing. I am more excited to be in the wine business here than if I was starting in something in France or Italy or California. I think there's so much potential here that you know it's fine.
Yeah, it's a new market opening up, and introducing it to the US is something that's been slow in coming, but you figured out, you got the key by being in Washington DC, and
Mm-hmm.
you've already established yourself in Hungary and Budapest. In fact, you were on the when Anthony Bourdain was in Budapest, did you organize his tour and everything?
Well, there were a bunch of people involved, and we organized, or I was part of the team organizing just this one visit actually to the butcher where you guys were. You showed that plate of duck and sausages. So that's the visit that I was part of. So
Oh,
yeah, I have a photo of him and myself.
oh wow.
in
Yeah,
that
so
show.
you're already in good standing with as someone who can introduce us not only to Hungarian wine but to Hungary itself. And I'd
Mhm.
love to talk to you more once the tours are up and running. And
Let's do
before
that. Yeah.
before I sign off, I just wanted to just ask, how's Hungary doing? Is everybody things are I mean, obviously the
Mhm.
whole world is
Yeah.
kind of on hold right now, but
Mhm. Mhm.
you
Mhm.
have some ideas for obviously next
Yeah,
fall.
yeah. So I am in Budapest now. I've been here since September. Our kids go to school here.
So how about
They do-
tourism? Well, obviously they're not letting people in right now,
yeah,
but what are you
okay.
planning for going forward? Once things do open up, you have
Yeah.
some
So right now, tourism is not existent, non-existent in Budapest. The borders are um, not closed. You can come here, but you're going to have to be quarantined for 2 weeks, either in your hotel if you find one, or at somebody's house. So there is no tourism since September 1st. The lockdown is still happening. I don't know when it's going to be over. Uh, I am preparing for next spring. I mean, typically September and October are our high season. So at this point, we are usually pretty tired and are looking forward to November because November is a little slower, and then comes December, and with the Christmas market and everything, that's usually busy, and then January and February, it's vacation time, and things usually pick up in March. So uh, yeah, I don't think anything is going to happen until the end of February,
okay.
and
We'll,
yeah,
we'll see. We'll check back with you in March.
please, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Your website is tastehungry.com, and the US one is available on that. Buy Wine US, Buy Wine EU, and then there's the virtual experiences. So check out Taste Hungry, and hopefully we'll have a chance to talk with you again and do private wine tasting.
I would love to do that. Yeah, yeah. Either, I mean, yeah, I guess virtually first, and then hopefully in person next year,
Hopefully we'll
or
get
maybe
some
on a
people
tour.
together and we'll come there in person and meet you. All right. Well, thank you, Gabor. I really appreciate
Thank you,
your
Diana. I
time.
appreciate it myself.
Okay. Take care.
See ya, see ya. Bye.
Bye.